Hey Magic the Gathering fans, it's Matt here from Total MTG, and today I am going to show you my favourite deck in Standard at the moment that I made. Found this deck online. It's absolutely hilarious to play. Basically, it's like a mill deck using Sphinx's tutelage, which is the enchantment. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent puts the top two cards of his library into his graveyard. If they're both non-land cards that share a colour, repeat this process. And it also has the ability where you can draw a card and discard a card for 6, which I don't use that often, but obviously needs must, you might use it. And it's in conjunction with Fevered Visions as well. At the beginning of each player's end step, that player draws a card. If the player is your opponent and has 4 or more cards in their hand, Fevered Vision deals 2 damage to them. So we can do damage to them as well without attacking. We just fill, you might think that's crazy filling them with cards. But, trust me, this does work. I have lost very few matches so far with this deck. Obviously, if I've come up against, this is a bit of a budget deck. But it's really competitive. And it's really, really fun to play. So, Ice Fever. The ice is Thing in Ice. This is like our alternate win cons, and we do have a lot of cantrips. So we can hopefully flip him into the Awoken Horror. He's a 0/4 defender for 2. He enters with 4 ice counters, and what you have to do is cast instants or sorceries to remove the ice counters. Then he will flip, and when he transforms into the Awoken Horror, you return all non-horror creatures to their opponent's hands, and to your hands as well. But he is our only creature. We've only got one other way of making a creature, which is we have a 1-of Crush of Tentacles in the deck, which you can pay for 6 or pay for 5 with the surge cost. Returns all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. So it obviously does get rid of our Sphinxes and our Featured Visions, but sometimes we have to do that, and it hopefully will give us an 8/8 big octopus, which you won't need many attacks with that, to be honest. So we'll look at the card draw. So we have Magmatic Insights. We run 4 of them. Additional cost to play, you have to discard a land, and you get to draw 2 cards though for 1 mana. Tormenting Voice, same again, you discard, but you draw 2 cards, but you get to choose what you discard on this one. And it's all about, drawing the cards, basically just milling them as quick as you can. I've had games where I've had 2 Sphinxes out and 2 Fevered Visions, so I'm hitting them for 4 damage. And then, I'm milling them as well. Catalogue is the other one that we run to draw cards. Draw 2, discard a card. It's instant speed, so we could do it end of turns, anything like that. So we run 3 of them. Right, stuff to sort of help you battle against the creatures. We run a couple of Fiery Impulse, and we do run 2 more in the sideboard. 2 damage to creature. Spell Mastery is obviously, we usually get Spell Mastery quite easily. And we also run Hydro Slash, which basically slows down their power for attacking you. If they come with loads of little ones, it's basically near a fog. And you get to draw a card as well. So you can, trigger your Sphinx's, tutelage and stuff like that. And we run Engulf the Shore, which I found, a very good card. We run 10 islands in the deck. So, return to hand all creatures with toughness less than or equal to number of islands. So obviously make sure you count your islands before you play that. I did it once and did it for 4, and it was creatures that were 5 toughness. I just thought I had 5 islands. I don't know, it's just a mistake. But hey, you do make them in Magic, don't you? So we got a couple of counter spells. Clash of Wills, 2 counter spells. Counter target spell and this controller pays X. And we run another one in the sideboard, but we'll have a look at the sideboard in a minute. We also run 2 of these. Alhammarat's Archive. If you would gain life, you gain twice that life, but we don't, we've got no life gain. If you would draw a card, except the first one you draw in each you draw, so it was draw 2 cards. Now, obviously, this is a very good card. It's one of the more dearer cards in the deck. But I must admit, I find myself sideboarding it out every single game at the moment. I don't know whether the 5 is just too much, and we've got more, card drawing cards in hand, and I don't want to slow myself down a turn because once, if there's a lot of creatures on, all I want to do is draw and make a mill. But this is, tell me what you think of this card, guys. I mean, it obviously works well in the deck 'cause it draws, extra couple of cards. But when you find yourself sideboarding out a card a lot, I feel like it probably shouldn't be in there. But, maybe it should, maybe it shouldn't. So we ran 3 Evolving Wilds. in the deck, go and get our islands or you know, mountains, whatever we need. Like I said, it's a bit of a budget, so Highland Lake, we run 4 of them. But what you can swap it for is the red-blue creature, which is pretty good. Wandering Femoral. So you could maybe swap them for them if you want to. You know, they're obviously a lot more expensive than Highland Lakes. But they come in tapped. Wandering Femoral comes in tapped. But obviously you can turn that into a creature as well. And then we just run basics, islands and mountains. 10 and I think it's 7 there of each. So we run them. So basically that is the main deck, guys. You can see what it's all about. Thing in Ice is like a, you know, sub-win con. Fevered Visions can win us games as well if we got a couple of them on the field doing 4 damage every turn. As long as we fill their cards with hands. Fill the hand with cards, obviously, because they've got to have 4 or more cards in hands. But, you know, Fevered Vision does trigger quite a lot. And in failing that, we flip our Thing in Ice and then just come in with a couple of hits, hopefully. And then we take them down. So let's have a look at the sideboard. Sideboard at the moment, we've got 3 negates. You know, counter target non-street spell. They usually come in for the artifact that I take out, just because obviously people will have artifact enchantment removal. So it's good to have a couple of negates and a few more counter spells kind of thing. We've got a Void Shatter as well, which is a counter spell. And we've got the other Clash of Wheels, like I said. If they've got pesky little creatures you want to get rid of, you can bring in the Fiery Impulses. And we got Roast to deal 5 damage to target creature without flying. Also, because we are a bit susceptible to flyers, we've got a couple of Icefield Regents in the sideboard. Not the greatest of the dragons, but you know, it's in colour blue. We get to tap a target creature opponent controls, and then it doesn't untap, and it costs them 2 more extra card, you know, to kill the Regent. And then to slow them down further as well, we have Send to Sleep. We've got 4 of them in the sideboard. Tap up to 2 target creatures. If we've got Spell Mastery, which we usually do, we can then make them not untap during their next untap step, so which is pretty handy as well. So, you know, guys, any idea of, you know, more for the sideboard, let me know, because the sideboard is always up, you know, up for debate. You know, it changes to whatever you know, what the meta changes, what you think, but, you know, this is a near-on budget deck. The cards, Thing in Ice, I think online when I got them was like, and that's recently as well, was only like 2 tickets. A bit more expensive in card form, but I will put in the description as well what it cost in ticket form, and then maybe in dollars on SCG, because I know a lot of people work from SCG, of what the deck cost to make, so you can all have a look and give it a go. But anyway, guys, I hope you like this deck. What I will do, like before, I'll be playing some matches with this, so we'll probably go for the 3 matches again, so watch out for those videos soon. We will put the Ice Fever to the test and see what we come up against, and hopefully have fun. Hopefully not get too many opponents rage against us, because they just don't like the mill. But this is a very fun, budgety sort of deck to play. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, guys.